This episode of the Young Turks is brought to you by WestHost, offering premium web hosting since 1998. Go to westhost.com/TYT for 25% off. WestHost! WestHost, WestHost.
2/3 of contemporary divorces end because a woman initiates the divorce. So now a bunch of researchers are coming together and they're coming up with their own theories of why this is the case. There was one woman by the name of Vicki Larson who says, oh yeah, of course this happens because men are more likely to cheat on their women. However, there was an interesting blog written on alternet.com by a guy by the name of Hugo Schweizer. He's from the Good Men Project. And he says that he believes that marriages are more likely to end because a woman wants it to end, because men are more likely to settle. Okay, so that's a really interesting theory, and he goes on to explain it. He says that women tend to have higher expectations when it comes to romantic fulfillment. Okay, women want the ideal man. They want both the intellectual connection and they want the passion. Men are conditioned to think that marriage is always going to suck, so they should just settle for whoever, and it's not going to matter, right? So men are...
All right, I'm gonna jump in and regulate on go, all right?
All right, go ahead.
First of all, Hugo Schweitzer sounds like he's out of a Quentin Tarantino movie, which is a good thing. Nothing wrong with that. Mm-hmm. Oh, watch out for Hugo Schweitzer. Okay, now, on to the real news. Yeah, you can kind of characterize that as, oh, men are willing to settle, or you can characterize it as women are a pain in the ass. They're like, oh, I need to walk on the beach, and I need this, and I need that, and I need a candlelit dinner, and oh my God, if he doesn't do all that, oh my God, it wasn't romance. It wasn't the romance I imagined. Whereas guys are more logical and reasonable, and it's not that they're settling, it's that they're saying, all right, I get it. It's a marriage, there's compromise, you do this, and she does that, and that's life.
No, I mean, Cenk, I think that both you and Hugo are right, okay? Because I think Hugo has a point where, you know, whether it's the media, it's our parents, everybody keeps telling men that marriage sucks, right? So men always think that they're going to go into a marriage, and regardless of who the girl is, it's going to be a sucky relationship, because that's what marriage is, right? And you can't deny it. Every guy that I talk to is always like, he's getting married. It's the end of his freedom, right? They always make it sound like a negative thing. So if a man is actually caught up in a negative relationship, maybe he thinks, I'm not going to find better out there anyway, so let me just settle for this relationship. You see what I'm saying? That's what Hugo is trying to say here, and I think he has a bit of a point. And then, of course,
No, but look, I just don't like the framing, though. I don't like the framing. What do you mean settle? It's not settle. It's, understanding that a relationship is working and that it's not going to be, and look, my relationship, I think is as good as it gets. But in other relationships that I've been with, in all these different situations, if you have the expectations that everything is going to be rainbows up people's, whatever the whole time, and there's butterflies, and well, yeah, then you're an idiot, and that's why your expectations are wrong. The other person isn't settling; you're being ridiculous.
No, and of course I agree with you that there are women out there who want that Hollywood movie type of relationship where it's all romance and it's all love all the time. People get caught up in these long-term relationships, and that romance and that passion isn't necessarily going to be there 20 years later. I mean, that's just the fact of life. But I also think that it isn't unreasonable for a woman to want both the intellectual connection and some romance in her relationship. And by romance, I'm not talking about, a guy taking her out every day and, whining and dining her and going out of his way like rose petals on the bed. I'm saying romance as in they want to have sex every once in a while. They don't want to have sex like once a month and get caught up in that type of marriage where it's like, yeah, that's my old ball and chain. You know what I mean?
Right.
I don't think it's unreasonable for women to want more than what most marriages turn into. You see what I'm saying?
I see. Who's got the low expectations on marriage now? You see that? Okay. And second of all, do women have a right to expect sex? Of course. God bless. I mean, yeah,
and
obviously.
I'm
not telling you that women. No, listen. I'm not telling you women have to be like, okay, all right, I got to take it. Yeah, he's not doing anything, but that's okay. That's it. I'm in a marriage. Like, you're reversing it. You have too low expectations. Mm-hmm. Of course, you have the right to expect that your partner is a good partner. And besides which, I got your romance right here.
I don't even know what that means. What does that mean?
I don't either, but I wanted to say it for some crazy reason.
I got your romance right here.
Yeah, you know what I'm saying?
And at West Host offers web hosting for 19 cents a day. You can't get cheaper. That's
Right.
ridiculous. You could do web host transfers. Like you got a website, boom, transfer.
For free. You have 24/7 support.
60-day money-back guarantee. Well, then you literally can't lose. 25% off if you go to westhost.com/TYT.
You know what I think about that? I think West Host.
West Host.